Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Eddie Jennings from EJSLLC.com. This video is going to be another in my RHCE practice session series where I'm preparing for the Red Hat Certified Engineer exam. Before I get started, I want to thank returning subscribers for watching another video, as well as invite anyone watching, if you haven't subscribed yet, to click that subscribe button and ring the bell when you do so you can be notified of when new content is available. Also, if you enjoy the content of this video or find it useful, make sure you click that like button and feel free to share this with others if you think it will be useful for them. In this video, we're going to continue with the Use Ansible modules for system administration tasks that work with blank set of objectives, and we'll be looking at the scheduled tasks piece of that for this session. I do want to remind you that these are not intended to be authoritative information videos, nor are they intended to be tutorials. Rather, it's an opportunity for me to talk about whatever the objective is and try some examples of working with the objective to assess if I'm ready to deal with exam tasks for that objective. And ideally, at the end of these videos, I feel pretty confident about whatever the objective is, and I can kind of check that off and move on to the next thing, or I'll realize that no, I still have some work to do with said objective, or I'm having to rely on documentation too much, or something like that, and I make note of it. And between now and the exam, which is just under 2 weeks away, I will definitely spend the time on it to brush up. Now, that being said, I do try to have the information in these videos as accurate as possible, but feel free to leave comments if there are errors and such, because I'm sure both others that are watching this as well as myself would enjoy the feedback. So diving into it, the module that comes to mind for working with scheduled tasks is the Cron module. So let us take a look at the documentation for Cron. This is another one of these that I have not touched in probably a month or so, because I was still finishing up some of my initial training and such for the RHCE. So we'll just look at we'll do -S, because there's a couple of things I want to point out from the documentation with this. And the first thing that I want to mention is the concept of the name. And this is important because if you were to use the cron module to remove a task, you're going to need to have this name parameter. And so even though I don't think it's 100% required for creating the task, I think it's a good idea to have that. Another thing that I want to point out is the idea of special time. And the special time here, you can do things such as monthly, weekly, hourly. You can do reboot for that, which is kind of neat, even though the reboot option is a deprecated thing, rather than specifying your hour and day and such like you would traditionally with your cron tab, minute and month. You have these little special times, makes life a little bit easier for you. So what I don't know is, which I would imagine this is basically going to work with Anacron as well, as far as if time passes for something and the job hasn't run, if Anacron will pick it up. I assume that it does that, but I'm not 100% sure. If you are a master of the Cron module, perhaps you can leave a comment about how this works with Anacron. So here we go. We're going to create our test playbook. So we'll call it cron_test.yml, do the needful with the name and such. So we'll call this testing cron. I'm actually going to become for this, put my host first. We'll use number 4 for this video, and tasks. So name, make a cron job. All right, so we're going to use the cron module, and name, I'm just going to call this test job 1, and the command that I want is, this is actually going to run a script, and this script is going to be in temp test script.sh. And let's see, for what I want to do for this. So it's currently July 31st, 2205. So let's do hour 22 minute. We're going to do minute 10, because I might change this in a moment. Let's see, day, star, month, star. I'm not sure if I have to put that in quotation marks or not, but we'll find out. All right, and state is going to be present. Now I'm not going to specify the user, and so what this is going to do is add this to the cron tab file for the Ansible account. All right, so let's go ahead and make this, and there's obviously not going to be a script there yet, but I want to see what happens when we run our playbook. And it complains. Yep, I'm pretty sure that stuff has to be in quotation marks. All right, so all the other names of that stuff are correct. Oh, it defaults to root. I was thinking this defaulted to the actual user itself. How about that? And I'll bet it's going to need weekday as well. Forgot to put that in there. It's like the one field in actual cron that I tend to forget with that. So let's go back into our cron test, weekday. I'm going to put these stars in quotation marks. And let's give it a try. Unsupported parameters. Let's see. State present, I think. No? All right. So let's cat cron test. And let's see where I ran afoul. So I have command. Oh, job, not command. That's what I need. All right. So hours right, day, state present. All right. So let's change this to job. Yeah, command did feel kind of odd. And let's see what happens this time. Okay, so it converted those integers to strings, so it's expecting strings for that. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do lab rel an04, and we're going to do cron tab -l. We're going to become for that and see what we have in here. All right, so we see the Ansible test job 1, and we get that just from cron tab. Now what I'm curious about, let's do this. Let's SSH into this. And 04. I'm just going to do my own cron tab -l. Okay, so it did do this for root, and we can test that var, and it'll be spool. Might not be. I can go in there. How about that? So cron. Yeah, I can't go into cron. So let me cat or sudo cat cron root. Okay, and there it is. That's what we expect to see. Okay, so that makes sense. Now, I do want to take a look at a couple of other things here. Ansible doc cron. So we can specify a different cron tab for that, or a different file for cron, which is kind of neat. And what I want to do now, I'm actually going to make a minor change. All we're going to do is change the time. Let's change this to 30. We're going to go ahead and make it a string as well, because we saw the little warning there. These need to be strings rather than integers. And so what we should get is a changed, and it should just change that time. All right, so we'll do our ad hoc command here, lab rel an04, cron tab -l, and need to become for that. Okay, so now what I want to do, let's go back into cron test. I'm going to do test job 2, but we're going to specify a user for that. And I'm going to use Ansible as the user. And let's see what happens. What I'm expecting this to do is to put that on my own cron tab. So we'll do Ansible lab rel an04 -a cron tab -l, and let's see what comes up. Okay, that is what I expected to see. So let's just verify 100% that that's where this actually is stored. So we'll sudo cat var spool cron, cron Ansible. Okay, so that is what it did. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not going to consider this a fail. I'm going to definitely say that I need to just practice with the cron module more. I know enough to be able to get by and figure it out, I think, but one of my goals for just general exam prep is to not have this feeling of just kind of getting by with these modules. And I think the way I need to handle that is just, spend some time every day really between now and the exam and just do examples of these modules to try to get them a bit more under my fingers. Again, the goal is not necessarily memory, but it's to be familiar with them. Now, at the 2-week mark, I don't think I'm necessarily behind with this because I'm aware of the module and aware of what to do with it, but I definitely shouldn't stop the preparation now. And so if you're doing your own preparation, I would still strive for that being familiar. Now, if I was here and I have zero clue about how to use this module, then yeah, I will be behind with that. But I don't think that's the case for Cron. So not a complete failure, but not a slam dunk success either with this. So therefore, it'll be added to my list of things I need to go over before my exam actually happens. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch. If you found this useful for you in some way, make sure you do click like on the video and feel free to share it with others. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do click that subscribe button and ring the bell. And then I want to also thank returning subscribers for watching yet another video. Feel free to leave comments. I will respond to them as I have both time and ability, which means I can't guarantee a response, but I'll try to get to it as often as I can. Thanks again for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you the next time.